what's up.
There it
My
is.
man. So
What's
Jesse
up?
Ferrell, right?
Yes, sir.
What it is. Yeah, man. For those that are jumping in and watching this for the first time, I'm changing the format of the show. Appreciate you guys watching. I hope it's just as enjoyable because the content should flow. But today I got a dear friend, Jesse Ferrell. Never met him yet.
Yo, what's
You guys know that this is kind of my favorite way of doing a show, that I get to meet someone for the first time. For those that don't know, Jesse, are you located up? No, where are you at? In Jax?
Yeah, Jax.
Okay. And I had a dear friend of mine that I went to high school tell me about you,
Mm,
and she's like, "Yo, you got to get this guy on the show."
word.
And I'm stoked to have you. And
Yeah,
I
appreciate
think
it.
for those that may have not known you or don't know you, you're coming
Uh,
on to kind of talk about you got this dope ass like clothing brand you're rocking.
yeah, man. Yeah, some
That's
streetwear.
what's up. Hell yeah. So Upland, is it called Upland Clothing?
Yeah, Upland Clothing Co.
That's what's up, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, as we were starting to jump on the show, they usually, like I said, I live in Flagler Beach. It's usually at my table. But what I'm trying to do for guests is give them more of a comfortability of being able to do it at their leisure, their time, versus at a nice
Right.
spot. And getting a little bit hard.
There it is.
Oh, you good?
Went out a little
Yeah,
bit.
we had.
Yeah,
Looks
yeah.
like we. So yeah, man. Let me jump right into some of the things I would want to know, just out of my own curiosity. So has Jax been home forever, or like where are you from? What's the deal?
So I was born in Jax, and then I grew up in a small town called Callahan,
Okay.
which is like 35 minutes away from Jax, and it's like a small country town. So there's like nothing there. There's one stoplight, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there's nothing there, man. So, and then when I graduated or I didn't graduate, but after high school, I came back to Jax,
Okay.
and then been here ever since. Yeah.
Nice. And what you got great swag on you, man. You're a good looking dude. What what
Oh, appreciate
what
it.
kind of like brought the clothing thing into existence? Was this like a passion hobby turned into business, or like how'd this thing get going?
Really just started skating, right? When I was skating from a young age, style's always been in skateboarding, like that's kind of like part of the sport. Like you want to look
Right.
cool, you know? So I was always kind of good, like a good dresser in a way, like out of all my friends. So then I got older and I was like, man, maybe I could just like start my own thing,
Right.
and just do my own thing and kind of snowballed, I had a clothing brand before this and it was called Good Vibes Skate Apparel, right?
Okay.
And I was like a young kid, right? And it was all like really bright colors and stuff because I was at the beach getting influenced by that.
Right, right.
So then I was like, no, I got to switch it up and do my own thing. So I rebranded it, did everything and polished it up and just kind of been rocking ever since.
Nice, man. It's funny, we have a similar background. One of my first businesses I had started right out of high school was a clothing
Huh.
brand. Um,
Oh, word.
didn't have anywhere near the swag and the flow that you got, because I was just a kid back then and I didn't know what the fuck I was
Sure.
doing. But kudos to you,
Yeah.
because I'm checking out the Insta now.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, great stuff. So with the skating brand, correct me if I'm wrong, but for those that are good that can shred on a skateboard, is your clothing serve as kind of a utility as much as look good? For instance, like your pants and shit, are they made thicker, or like, you know what I mean? Like, is it actually
Yeah.
so is that
Yeah.
is that something like that, once again, by consequence of you just probably not finding something in the market that was complementary to your own shit, you're like, fuck it, I'll do my own.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. The pants definitely serve for skating because you're always falling
Right,
and they're thicker and heavier. You're always slamming. So
right.
they don't rip as easy. They're lightweight. Yeah.
That's
All the
what's up.
pockets on them to carry all your stuff.
And great. I love the imagery. And after today's show, because right now I can't screen share and whatnot, but I'll be posting all your social media links. And for those that are listening at this point, it's just Upland Clothing Co. And I think that's kind of that's the handle on Insta.
Yep.
And all the imagery too, man. Are you doing most of your own? Are you like cultivating this? Is this all your brainchild, like your marketing and the look and the feel? Because
Yeah, dude. Actually, everything is me. I don't have no team or help or nothing. I do everything. I do the website. I do the designing. I take it. I ship it, package it, talk to factories, talk to manufacturers. Like everything is just me.
you're
And then I have one photographer who does all the photos.
awesome. I know that. I know the politeful pain that comes with running your own
Oh,
show. Are you
dude,
are
it's
you
crazy.
are you like in this too? Because I know a lot of people now, as we're getting older, a lot of people do start like shit like this, and they don't want to go blockbuster. They want to keep it chill. do you have some goals that like now, like do you want to go straight fucking, Yeezy status and go blow up, or are you trying to keep it chill? Like, where are you at?
I'm definitely trying to blow up. I don't know about like that big, but I definitely want to make a living off of it,
Okay.
and be big enough to like support everything. And yeah, I kind of want to go big for
Okay.
sure.
And live off this full time, like as your main.
Yeah, full time, like yeah, have nothing else relying on me, and then just I really want to be mainly, man. The main goal is be in the culture. I want to be around other creative people
Right.
and other people who are inspired when they wake up. You know what I mean? Like not people who wake up and kind of hate their life and
I,
hate their job and stuff.
I feel you on
We all
that.
experience that.
Well, as we're adulting, man, I got a saying that I seem to be very attracted, and you're only as good as your last 24, but I'm attracted to those that are where they want to be, not have to be. And I say that
Yeah,
out of being
exactly.
polite because I'm not out there fucking talking shit about anybody that's got to work a 9 to 5 and do it. Because you get a lot of that now, hoopla on there. You get these guys on there
Mhm.
that are hating on the whole 9 to 5 culture. It's like, look, man, I had to work 4 jobs for a very, very long time. And I don't think there's any shame in working a job and having a W-2 to supply you and your family or whatever it may be to bringing in income. And until
Yeah,
if you can make that leap to go straight independent, it's as much
yeah,
of a curse that it is a blessing, man. It comes with there's
for
some
sure.
those people that talk about going to work and there's no uniform is actually harder than having a uniform because you don't got to think
It is
about it.
harder.
Right. You got to
It is harder.
create you got to create your look, your feel. So I think just getting to know you right off the bat, I feel you got a really good sense of your reality. You're not chasing the money, you're chasing the lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely the lifestyle for
That's
sure.
what's
And
up,
hopefully the
man.
money comes. That's the goal.
Well, I'm
Hopefully.
I'm no business expert, and I could tell you, being my own business, so to speak. I don't class myself whatsoever as a successful business person. I have
Sure.
been on my own now for almost 20 some odd years, and I can tell you if I've put money first, and no matter what it was,
Yeah.
I was fucking with. It could have been this business, this idea, this concept, and none of them ever went super blockbuster. But I remember anytime you put that money first, you become that desperate. It just don't feel
Yes.
right, you
Yes,
know?
bro. You become desperate and you'll do anything and
Yeah.
you'll make anything and you'll sacrifice your image, you'll sacrifice your values and stuff, just for a quick hit. It's crazy. I watch it happen all the
I'm
time.
sure, and we're in that era now where, once again, if you spend time online, which we're all guilty of doing, you see there's that that can be that culture of get that quick money, big money, and all these people talking about. I don't even what's that guy that just got canceled, Stephen Tate or not? I don't know what his name is. The fucking guy that's
Oh, Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. And look,
Yeah.
I don't know him well enough and even his stuff to know if he's cool or not. I see, but a lot of the lingo on there is like "fuck your job," get money. Look at my
Yeah.
jet, look at my Bugatti. And like, look, I got it. That's great if you got it, but I mean, I feel like they call them private jets for a reason. You know what I mean? You're not
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you're blessed with getting to that financial freedom, that's awesome. But I don't think it always requires unless it's part of your brand, you know. But I
Hmm.
don't think if you don't have it doesn't mean that you're not fucking succeeding because I think
Yeah.
one of the things I like to talk with people about, and this is not only for the show purpose, this is how I am recreationally, is where are you
Mhm.
at in a season of life in general? Are you in a good season? Where are you like in the storm, out of the storm, coming into like where are you at,
Right.
Holmes?
Yeah, dude. And you know what? Back to the 9 to 5 thing, bro. Is a lot of people because I'm in the scene, so I know a lot of like entrepreneurs. Like everyone. I'm young, so we're all still trying to come up, right? And it's fun because I know a lot of them, but a lot of them just quit their jobs. And I always tell them, I'm like, bro, leverage your 9 to 5. Go
Hmm.
work a 9 to 5 you don't like to do. Make sure you don't like to do it because one, it keeps you hungry, it keeps you motivated,
Yep.
and usually it's going to pay more. Usually jobs that you hate and pay more, manual labor, something like that. But that's not you, bro. That is just a tool you're leveraging to get you bigger. But they don't think like that because I think we have all this, like you said, fuck 9 to 5, quit your job, quit this, and it's like, it's a weird approach.
Right.
And I'm always telling them, I'm like, dude, go work that job,
Yep.
and then hustle it out, and then when you get off, use all that money, all that knowledge, all that time, the people you meet at your job or whatever it is, and then when you're off, you're not that guy. Your job's not who you are; it's just what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what's up.
And they
That's
don't think like that.
that's good that you have that mindset. How old are you if you don't mind me asking?
28.
Damn, you are young. Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, pretty young.
And I say that out of love because I remember I'm 38, so I got 10 on you, and I can tell you at 28, you're at that age where I emotionally for me when I was becoming an entrepreneur and in that entrepreneurship, I had been doing my own thing since I was 17, but I don't think I went fully blown independent to just about your age. I was just hitting it. And bro, I was scared shitless. And I remember this is, 10 plus years ago now. I remember even telling people back then that I'm trying to like internet and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
And to leverage online media was that much more difficult because it wasn't as, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a little bit more fluid. Even this right now, being able to podcast using this app is like, I don't got to create this. It's there for us.
Yeah.
So it seems like, what were some of the hurdles that you're dealing with? Because one of the things I like to do is let people that may be listening to this that may be too afraid to say they're afraid, or where are you at with? So you got your 9 to 5, right? And that's your business, which I'm proud of you because you're keeping until you have that full liquidity coming in.
Yeah, it's I'm 100%
what's
ready.
it like being 28 in the scene right now? And having that 9 to 5, is there some of that bullshit? People are like, yo, what the fuck? Quit your job if you're really like, is there seem to be that energy?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's actually funny because a lot of people just make assumptions from online, right? So they don't really know me, but I'm portrayed this, I guess, image, which is not like, it's not like I do it on purpose necessarily. It's just that's what I want to see myself as, right? It's not really like I'm trying to manifest in a way. So it's a weird, interesting battle because they don't know, like, but I'll tell them they'll meet up and I'm like, yeah, dude, I still have a 9 to 5 and I'm chilling and hustling it. I'm still hustling. I'm not like made it by any means, and I'm completely transparent and honest. And they just get like, they're like, what, really? I'm like, yeah, bro, you got to do what you got to do. Like, how bad do you want it? I want it really bad. So I'm going to do whatever it takes, anything it takes,
Well, that's what's up. Your breath of fresh air. Continue, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's like the hardest problem or the hardest challenge is because a lot of people assume you're something that you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's a weird crossover battle.
Right.
It's a really weird, interesting, never thought about it until it happened, when I was younger, I never thought about this or anything until it started happening. I'm like, why are people saying this? And I'm like, oh, well, they think I'm this or something. You know what I mean? Well, they just assume. I mean, I don't know.
You're right. And I remember like it was yesterday, and it still happens to me, man. I get a lot of, I could tell you this, you'll always be in a unique conundrum as an independent with a brand and a flavor, et cetera, that I've noticed. And everyone, you'll have your own rhythms. But one thing that I think some of the things we'll share in common are, as I've gotten older, and let's just use the word succeeded, irregardless of financially, but like gotten to be, I've become less and less. Now the show is really a behind the scenes opportunity for people to get a little bit more behind who I am, what I am, and I'm very vulnerable and open on these. But in the real world, I've noticed you'll probably, if you haven't already, which it seems like you got a great fucking vibe, but if you're going to notice that less is more. You know what I mean? And like some of your homies you may have grown up with could be friends and family, and you'll start to become less open with your successes because no joke, like right now, if you were talking to me and let's just say you were somewhere geographically that had always been a dream of yours, the fucking Amalfi Coast, and you're talking to me right now, but it's become part of your lifestyle, you almost may start to notice that you won't tell the significance that the people you met, because look, greed and envy are real things, man.
Man, super real.
And I'm going to tell you something.
You don't realize until you do something.
And I have no doubt you're going to succeed because I've learned this. I used to be my worst enemy with not stamping myself successful. And it was Katie and I, the girl that introduced me to you, her and I lost a best friend, and she lost a best friend too in high school. And I remember it was my homie of mine that used to say to me every day, and he passed away just around your age that it was. And he used to say to me every day, like, yo, Vin, when are you going to fucking stamp yourself successful? And I used to be like, yo, shut the fuck. This man was working at an architecture firm, was doing great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, it must be nice. You can say that, but I'm nowhere near that comfortability. But I took me years to just start to fucking enjoy. Like, don't be an anxious idiot. And I'm talking to myself, like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm proud of you because it's going to be – it's going to be a weird thing because with you being a brand, like I'm looking at your stuff online, and because you got to be a brand and a flavor, you got to show them something, but you can't show them everything, right? Like I'm sure, have you found that balance right yet, or is it still kind of an evolution?
It's probably still kind of an evolution.
Okay.
Honestly, nothing really, man, none of that stuff, it's so easy for me to block out.
For you.
I'm so mentally in tune with the journey. And I'm so in tune. I do a lot of self-reflecting and talking to myself.
Good.
it's you versus you. You know, I wrote a little book about self-confidence for people
Fuck yeah.
to like really help, because I noticed a lot of people have problems and struggles with believing in themselves. And I'm kind of delusional in the self-belief where I'm like, dude, I can do anything. I'll fly off this cliff, you know, type thing. Like, you know, and I mean, I don't know where it comes from. I think it comes from skateboarding.
Okay.
You fall,
Right.
you get back up. You fall, you get back
Right.
up. And if that's ingrained in you as a younger kid, you know, you kind of learn that trait, because all this stuff is just skills you build, right? Like,
Right.
in the book, I talk about like all these things are just skills, man. Like confidence is just a skill that's built through action. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to you have to actively do it, right?
Right.
Like, you know, people get stuck in their little comfort zones. Like to get out of that is just a skill that you build, right? Not like, it's not like special people have that, you know, it's not like, oh, you're born with it. I mean, some people might be born
Right.
with a little bit more of, you know, maybe they're better at talking or something like that.
Right.
But it's not impossible for people to achieve that stuff, you know? But we're not really taught this stuff. So I was like, let me write this stuff down. Let me get a little book, you know?
When did you write this?
I think,
There you go.
yeah, check it out.
A book on self-belief. Dude, that's what's up. Can people, how can someone get one?
So I got a couple left. I have like 3 actually left. I only made about 50 to start with, just to, you know, do a test run. And I was surprised, bro. I have 3 left. You can go on my website. It's actually under the accessories tab.
Okay.
www.uplandclothing.co.
Dude,
And on the
kudos to
accessories.
you,
Yeah,
because
if you need.
I've never written a book. I've heard those that have. I've got a lot of friends, customers, etc., that have been in it, and they say it's almost like they're writing it for themselves. Almost, right?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Which is nothing profound to those that have. They're probably like, yeah, dude, that's what we do. But when I haven't written one yet, and I've been told like try it, and of course the imposter syndrome, like I can't write a fucking book. But like you said, it's like that confidence is almost. I've never heard anyone put it that way, and it makes a lot of sense. That confidence is almost like it's like a muscle, right? If you don't use it or you don't exercise in it, and that's what's up. But I will tell you this, and I ain't even here. I'm not even trying to fucking gloat on you. The skateboard fucking genre, man. Since I was a kid, I can't do anything on those things. I can't even stand on them. And let me tell you something. It's without saying that you guys are fucking lunatics in the good way. Like
For real.
You gotta have. I was chilling the other day in a city, and just how you guys can roll on those things through a city, they don't even skip a beat. The cracks. I'm not even talking about tricks. Just fucking cruising down a sidewalk on a city block with the cracks and the dips and this, bro, I'd be fucking face planted. But I think there has to be, like, I ride motorcycles and I do some things that some would go, you're an idiot. Your life statistically is in higher danger. But skateboarding, you almost got to kind of be like, this is like, have you had some crazy ass fucking life changing spills, or have you been pretty lucky?
No, I've been pretty good. But I stay in my limit. I don't do nothing too gnarly. Okay. You know what I mean? I know my limit. I definitely push myself though, and fall and like stuff, but I don't go like these dudes jumping down like 20 sets. No, I'm good on that. You know, jumping down handrails, I'm like, I'm good on that. I'll do a little handrail or something small, but I'm not nothing
What's
crazy.
more of what's your scene? Are you more of a street skater, Are you like skate parks?
Yeah, street.
Just kind of go out,
street.
Clear your mind, fucking.
Yeah.
You got some good spots up there in Jax?
Yeah, so like it's funny because when I was growing up, I didn't have a skate park near me.
Right.
So I only knew street, you know, so there was no skate park in my town or anything like that. So I actually didn't start skating parks until I was kind of older.
Okay.
You know, my 20s.
Right.
You know, like, so I'm not really good at like transition and stuff because I never had practice, but which is kind of an interesting thing. So yeah, streets, it was just wherever you're at, you just go out and find some, you kind of make up spots, you know?
I've always found that the skateboard genre is so appealing because you're fighting yourself. So it's almost like golf, right? Like you're skating yourself and you got that trick or you got that thing and you may be working for it for 6 months to land one fucking trick. And talk about like consistency and passion but also too, I've noticed that most of the skaters that I knew growing up and even now, you guys go to a secret place in your head, man. You guys go somewhere.
You just zone out.
You zone out. You've always been like are you like a solo skater? You got a crew, or like as you're getting older?
Yeah, it's just always solo, man.
Dope.
Always. I try to get a crew and I try to get people, but you know, life gets harder as you get older.
Yeah.
People have jobs, people have kids, you know, they can't.
Where are you in your adulting scene right now? You got kids, you linked up. What's your story?
Nothing, bro.
Nothing?
Just straight business.
Good for you.
24/7 business.
Damn.
Like no kids, no girl, no girlfriend, just straight. Every day we wake up, it's like, how do we blow up?
Bro, I'm proud.
How do we get bigger? How do we get stores? How do we, you know, it's every day. It's kind of like a drug, man. I can't lie. It's pretty addictive.
Yeah. It's,
you know,
It's you're in that. So how long has this been? I know businesses. There's no, in my opinion, there's no begin and end date when they're like guys like us because we've been thinking like this probably since you were a kid. But
Yeah,
how
I
long
agree.
has this been birthed? Is this brand like this hustle? What's it been?
So 2016 is when I actually started Upland.
Okay, that's what's
Is when
up.
I actually started it. And then, to be honest, I wouldn't say it was real until maybe 2 years ago when I first manufactured a piece of clothing.
Okay, that's what's
So
up.
everything else, like, I mean, not to discredit like printing on
Of
T-shirts and
course,
stuff, but that's very, very basic, and like everybody does that. I
right,
think when you start manufacturing is when you really are like, whoa, you just like, the plant just, birthed from the ground,
right.
because now you're creative. Now because when you manufacture, man, you're really doing whatever you want to do. I
Right.
mean, the zipper can be long. You're customizing anything. So
Where's some? I mean,
that's when you're
I
really
know
stepped up.
everything's probably it's got your TLC into it, but what's some of the shit that you're most proud about that has been kind of your brainchild? I'm looking through your like, is it been like the pants seem to be pretty fucking dope? Is it like what's your?
Yeah.
Is it
The pants are actually the best seller right now.
good?
Shockingly, I was surprised. I put them out, because I just thought they were cool. And dude, I can't keep them stocked up, man.
That's
California, New York, crazy.
and that's what's up because once again, it seems like because they're actually serving not only a look but their utility. You're
Yeah.
probably making them right where they're not like falling apart. I mean, I think growing up, you didn't have a lot of options. It was like kind of Dickies, right? It
No,
was like that you wanted.
no, yeah.
That was it. I mean, in
And
jeans,
that's what's so crazy. Like you said, growing up, there was only about 5 or 6 brands
right,
that were doing it.
right.
Now you got all kinds of options, which is really cool.
It's fucking awesome, and it's got once again, it's got a great flavor and a great feel. Are you now? I remember being in the I never manufactured more than I was always using a name, a slogan, in this, and but I
Mhm.
remember when like right now, are you already working on like spring? You always got to be
Oh
in
yeah,
the future.
yeah.
Like, what do you got?
Actually, in like a month, I have like fall and winter coming out,
Yeah,
like a whole collection. It's huge, dude. I got all kinds of stuff, and that's going back to the question that you just asked. The most proud thing I've made is in this fall winter collection. It's a jacket,
hell
and
yeah.
it has like different panels and color. Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
It's a great feeling when you see, like I said, I even right now I had a friend of mine asking me to sponsor their soccer team, and I do that often. Of course, it's not the material or the brand, or more than it is just the brand and helping them obviously buy for the fucking kits. But it's such a
Hmm.
good feeling when you see people wearing your. I can't imagine when it's actually manufactured stuff and people
Yeah,
take such intimacy with that because once again your clothing is serving such a utility purpose, so it's not like yo I'm just rocking this because it's my homies. They don't even know who
yeah,
you are, probably they just like yo this is
yeah.
actually
100%. They
works.
don't know.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
how are you
they're like,
find
this just looks cool.
how are you finding your ways of distribution? Are you like you're creating relationships with clothing like stores, or like how are you seeing your stuff get moved around? Has it been an obstacle? Has it been fluid? Like where are you at with that?
It definitely has ups and downs. Like there'll be moments where it's like one time you'll be 2 or 3 retail stores, you'll be talking to them at one time, and then there'll be some times where it's like, man, I've reached out to 10 and nobody said a word.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? But then COVID just happened, right? And I was on a roll right before COVID. I was in like 6 stores,
Wow.
and I was ready, and I was like, come on, we got to keep moving. And then COVID hit, and everyone's like, no, no, no. I'm like, damn, man, like that bummed me out because I was on a roll. I was feeling good too. I was
Right.
like, let's go. Like I'm about to move down south and just keep moving down the coast, And then COVID hit, and that hit for like a year or two.
Right.
So that's for me, 2 months is too long. 2 months of
I'm
not
with
doing
you.
something, I'm like freaking out. Like
Yep.
I'm like, dude, I'm too stagnant. I'm too stuck. What am I? You know what I mean?
Right.
So a year, I was like tripping. I was like, what do I do? So then I went all online. I was like, well, let me just do this online thing and try to do it online. So that was kind of the hard part.
And where are you at? I know I'm jumping around a lot, but this is how I am, just even fucking personally.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
What's some of the things that you started to cultivate as someone who's a fucking a doer? Do you got a routine right now? And I know you, like I said, I know you got the 9 to 5, but like when you wake up, like what are some of the things that you're doing that may inspire someone that may be finding themselves in ruts or like can't fucking break that yoke of like not feeling good or successful? Like what are some of the things that you do as an individual right now to keep yourself fucking fresh?
Man, really, I do a lot of studying. So I
Okay.
look up to a lot of people, and I just kind of study the people I want to see myself as a lot. And I keep that in rotation all the time. I do that more than I have leisure time. Like
Okay.
I study more than I watch TV. If
What's
like
up?
instead of watching like a show, I'll watch an interview, or so. And I know you got to have downtime and
Right,
stuff,
right.
you know, but that, and then I go to the gym. I started the gym like 2 years ago, man. And before that, I was never in a gym at all. I
Okay.
was like, because I was just like, what? It's a waste of my time. I can't be in there. But then I got older. The business started catching up more and kind of doing things on its own. And I was like, let me get into the gym. I'm gaining a little weight. You know, I need to catch myself, right? So then I started getting in that. And man, I've hit the sauna. I do the
That a
sauna as a
boy.
routine every day.
Yep.
And dude, it changed my life, bro. That changed my mental game, my life, everything. But yeah, I do a lot of studying, man. A lot of music, you know, a lot of
That's
music
tough.
throughout the day, but like real music, not just
I know
bullshit,
what you
you know,
mean.
like actual lyrical music. And I'm like, whoa, 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 let me write this down, or whoa, whoa, let me study.
Right.
I'm studying, you know. You don't have to like listen to podcasts to study all the time. There's a lot of ways to study, you
I
know.
see what you're saying. It seems like you got a good way of tapping into your creativity. And I know it's always going to change and be in a constant evolution. That's what I've
Yeah.
noticed. But when do you see most, like I get ideas all the time. It could be taking a walk. It could be this. And I see a slogan. It could be on a fucking, in the cloud, so to speak. Where does some of your best creativity, for instance, that jacket, right? And
Uh-huh.
I could sense you're fucking proud about it. And where did that kind of, is that an accumulation of months of thinking and you force yourself to sit over a fucking desk? Or is that you like on a, like how did that particular thing come to fruition? Was it like, how did that come? Like, if you know what I mean?
Well, that came from honestly traveling, to
Okay.
be real. So, you know, I've only been out of Florida a couple times, you know, like really, you know, I haven't traveled a lot until maybe this year, last year, 2 years ago, started traveling, and I went to New York, and then I went to California. And then when I went there, it was like, you know, I was working, because to me, work is not work, man. I'm having a blast. You know, I'm
That's
into
what's
the
up.
culture I'm in. I love this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going in all the clothing stores. I'm feeling fabrics. I'm looking at materials. Go to Supreme store. I go to these brands, you know, that I look up to, and I'm like, whoa, man, how are they doing this? And then I go back to my manufacturer and I start drawing stuff and I talk to them and, you know, what can we do? You know, and they kind of help me or whatever. And I'm like,
Right.
all right, cool. You know, like, let's go. But when you go in there, you just get all like fresh air of like, whoa, I never even seen this in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, Florida is our fashion's kind of dead.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So you go out to like California and you're thinking, whoa, everyone's dressed up, or
Right.
everyone's layered up, or everyone's styled. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Where am I?
Right.
You know? Then I come home and I get a fresh air and I'm like, all right, let's create.
That's
You
what's
know?
up. I've noticed I'm meeting more people as I'm getting older that actually don't find, let's just use the word traveling as a means of enlightenment or enjoyment. They like their spot, their bubble, etc. So I'm not out here
Right.
preaching the whole like fucking travel thing, but I've always been very, very meandery, nomadic. I love being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like I like to
Yeah.
not know the
Yeah.
language. I like to not know the menu. I like to go somewhere and I like to do my damnedest to blend in, you know, to learn something new and this. And I could tell you, kudos to you for getting out on that West Coast. I was just there for like quite some time, and I spent some time out there in the Seattle area and all around that West Coast. And dude, I'm telling you, like you said, no disrespect to our home, you know, in our state, but dude,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it's not a foodie destination.
No.
We're not setting the tone to anything.
No. Nobody comes here and just for, you know, certain things, you know?
Right. It's and kudos to you because guys like you, you're creating that culture, but it's still
Yeah, that's actually one of my goals too. That's kind of like one of the thoughts. I was like, well, no one's ever done it, man. No one's really ever tried.
right.
You know, well, in Jacksonville at least. I mean, down south you have some brands. There's a brand called Rip and Dip.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I
And they're
haven't.
actually from Orlando. They're from Orlando, and they got big, blew up, moved to Cali, dude. They're worldwide.
Wow.
It's huge. Yeah, huge. So, I mean, it is possible, but I thought, you know, you have to move, you have to leave.
You do.
Probably,
Well, when
you
you're
know,
in that
so
situation like you're in, that if, especially if you're inspired by different smells, textures, people, and you know, I'll tell you too, don't underestimate. I mean, I'm not saying you would because you got this great fucking spirit about you, but don't. And a lot of people do underestimate just the fact that Florida's fucking huge. You know, like
it's huge, man.
just getting out of your own zip code sometimes for a while,
Yeah.
you get that life of like, oh shit, I didn't know that we had XYZ
Yeah.
and this and but it's good because even conversations like this are very good, stimulating, and they're good to be thought provoking and to get you out of your that rigmarole, the same shit every day, you know. And kudos to you too because
Oh, yeah.
it's not a crowd favorite anymore. I keep my mouth shut a lot in public when people are starting to talk about like TV shows and shit like that because I ain't trying to change the world, man. People got their own, like you said, you want to watch TV, you want to do your shit. But one of the things
Yeah, do
we
your
share
thing.
in common is since I was 17-ish, I can't watch TV. I can't, I feel so like, and it's my own issue. I should probably chill more, but I can't just sit there and watch something
Yeah.
that ain't like teaching me, especially if it's fictional. Kudos to those that can. I can't, because I'm always wondering, like, if I'm going to sit here and watch this for fucking an hour, I
Yeah.
might as well be watching something educational and then doing something in the background that's keeping me proactive. Because I'll tell you something right now, and you seem to have this. These are your years now to stack
Yeah. Yeah.
and exhaust yourself. Because one thing that I hated hearing when I was your age was, wait till you get to be my age. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
but
Facts.
one thing that does happen, and I'd be honest, I've never shared this publicly yet, because it's almost kind of like, it's embarrassing to have to admit that I am actually in the matrix, that shit's real. That, dude, you really start to that creativity and that fucking neurological firing that I can taste is going on in you
Yeah, dude.
does chemically start to. That's why, no joke, when we were kids, we could sit there and play a fucking video game for 10 hours compared to when you get to be about my age. You're like, I ain't gonna play this fucking game. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
why can't I? I used to fucking love it. Well, because when you're a kid, things are fun, or this, that, and the other. So
Yeah.
it's a biological fact that your chemical start to lessen. So I would say hold on to that, because I've noticed I get mad at myself that I can see. I used to have crazy ideas that I would never even try to pursue, because I would need billions of dollars. But like, whether it was a fucking spaceship or this, and I've noticed as I'm getting older and you get more comfortable and you get more, you enjoy, you start to go like,
Yes.
I don't think about ideas that much anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, because once again, because I'm trying to rest and relish in some of the success I got now, versus like,
Sure.
but enjoy that, and it sounds like
Yeah.
you are, but
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
that fucking power of that creativity and that youth, that, and I
Yeah.
think have you always been someone that's had this tenacity and power, like, I feel like you got, or has this been like, did you go through some shit? You don't got to tell me if you did, like, what it was, but did you go through some shit that gave you this, like, come to Jesus shit, like, moment? Or how did you cultivate, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely went through some shit to
Okay.
find it. Cause when I was a young kid, like younger, no, just a normal kid, man. Just played with toys, played with imaginary guns, played Yu-Gi-Oh, played Pokemon, like just a normal ass kid. And then I got as my teens, and when I moved to Callahan, so my mom got cancer, so that's why we moved to Callahan,
Okay.
and because my stepdad lived there, right? So he took us in, and we're like, all right. So I was really pissed because I was stoked with living here
Right.
because I saw opportunity here.
Right.
Because Jacksonville's big. And then I knew Callahan. I'm like, dude, once I move to Callahan, I'm gonna be fucked. It's not my scene. It's not my people. I knew that as an early kid. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see, you know. So then I got there, and I was the outcast. I was the only skater dude. I was long hair, rebel kid, and everyone else's country, which is fine.
I
But
know what you mean.
when you're as an adult, if I moved back, it'd be fine, right? But as a young kid, everyone picks on you. People fuck with you. People do this, and you're like, damn, bro, I'm just trying to do something. I don't. Fuck all that picking on each other. I want to get out of here. I ain't meant for this, So then it built like a lot of anger, and it made me focus in more, And then you combine that with skateboarding and being alone. See, that's another thing. A lot of people aren't alone enough to figure out what they want to do. You know what I mean? So I hang out with a lot of friends, and they're like, man, how did you figure out? Well, I said, well, dude, I was 17 or I was younger. I was 15 to 18 alone. I'd be at the park at 12 o'clock at night with music, writing down notes. You know what I mean? Because I don't have my friends. Hey, man, try this. Hey, man, do this. And I didn't do drugs. I never did drugs, never drank, never got into that. I kept myself clean because I had a mission. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to get my family out of this. We're going to get out of this one day type thing. So, yeah, a lot of kids don't understand that. Like, you have to be alone, bro, to figure out who you are. And it's you versus you. You have to figure out what do you want? Who are you? What do you like? What don't you like? What's your morals? What's your standards? Can you say no? What's your discipline? Do you have work ethic? All, the list goes on and on. So, that's where it came from, just seeing what I didn't want. And seeing, like, I saw other people fail. I saw other things. Like, to me, what I thought was failure. To them, it might be success. But to me, I thought, well, I'm watching them struggle, right? They don't have to struggle. And they're only struggling by choices they've made only. Nothing else. I mean, cancer, diseases, that's inevitable, obviously.
Right.
But some of the choices you make also aren't necessarily preventing those things from happening to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're on drugs and something happens to you, well, I mean, what do you expect, right? Or if you do this, and I watch people, I'm like, man, why is everyone struggling around here? Why? I don't understand. So then I started thinking, I was like, oh, because they do this, that leads to this, that led to this. You know, I was like, okay, let me stay clean. And then I'm gonna flip the roles. What can be positive?
Right.
So if I do this and this and this, the only thing that can come from it is this. And so, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it came from as a young kid. And I think a lot of people don't have that drive because maybe everything's perfect in their life right now. I'm not sure. Because I know some people who maybe don't have to work or struggle, or you have to go through hardships. It's inevitable.
Dude, I knew I would because Katie said you were fucking amazing, but I'm falling in love with you, man. That ain't normal. It's not a normal mindset, and I can tell you that one of my sayings I did when I was younger was, you got to be when the ringing inside of your ears becomes music. You know, I spent so much time by myself. I isolated, and it wasn't a good thing either. I think that's what's beautiful about you even sharing your hyperbolic time chamber fucking time is people were. It's such a negative connotation to almost be like alone.
Yes.
Like
I wrote that in the book. I said
really?
Social media make you feel bad about it. I said on social media or your parents or everybody, they'll make you feel bad about being alone.
Yes.
Like it's embarrassing.
Yep.
Like if you see someone out at dinner alone, you're like, loser.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, bro, that dude's probably just enjoying his time.
Yeah, he is.
And you don't got to be surrounded by people.
And even now, I mean, dude, how many fucking times do you hear people maybe hit on a broad that's been single for, like, what's a girl like you being single? Like, because she wants to be. Like it's
she's probably working on herself.
Right. Like, but we have this notion of like, if for instance, even if you see someone almost walking these days without music or headphones on, you're like, yo, bro, you need some music. Like you almost like you're like, people feel like, oh my God, like, what do you do? Or you see someone in a bike path without a bike and they're like, maybe they don't want the bike, but kudos to you I haven't heard anyone ever say that for a very long time, that I'm who I am because of forcing myself to isolate and to think. Yeah. And another thing that you reminded me of is one of the things that I've found that helped me succeed, not just in business, but life, whether it's in buying a car, dating a girl, that look for every reason not to, you know? And that's another thing that the world ain't putting out there. It's being compulsive, buy, do now, YOLO, do it, I'm gonna do me. And it's like, look for every reason not to do that. And if the list is short or there ain't no reason not to, then do it. But don't be so, tell anyone that you need a day or two to think about it. People are like, what the fuck? And even when I'm sending out proposals in my own business, I use some terminology that I've coined in my own way that I treat people the way I would want to be treated. I tell them, put it into your thinking prayer tank. Ain't no scare tactics. The price ain't going to change. The availability may be a little slim depending on, because I'm a one-man show, but put it into your thinking prayer tank. I ain't going to call you every day at fucking noon trying to convert you, Yeah. So good for you for doing that and isolating mentally, because it's not a crowd favorite, bro. And I'm glad that you even know that.
Well, it's crazy too. If it gets a little deeper than that, if you think about it, because as humans, like human nature, we're tribalistic. We move as tribes, right? We're not like single hunters. We're not like, whatever other animal out there hunts by itself.
Right.
If you go back to the dawn of our like genetics, so that's why I think we long for human connection. We long for human acceptance. We long for just being around human beings, right? Because I don't think naturally we're supposed to move alone. Mm-hmm. And that's not how the world operates. If you think how the world turns is humans work together to make everything happen. Right. Nobody does anything on their own, right?
You're right.
So it's kind of interesting to think back like that, and you're like, okay. But then being alone is challenging. And I think it challenges your genetics, right? Because this is not really fun being alone for too long. We know that. Nobody feels good being alone for too long, you know? So you're challenging your genetics. You're challenging the way you're made up as a human. Then you're challenged by the society standards of being alone, your friends, your parents. So it's like you have a lot of battles, but if you can go through it and overcome it. But if you're alone in the right reasons, not just to say you're being alone, right? Correct. You have to actually do something about it. Because a lot of people be like, dude, I went to the mountains and I was alone for, I quit my job. I moved to the mountains for 3 months and nothing changed. It's like, well, dude, you're doing the wrong type of being alone, you know?
Yeah.
So, because I know that a lot, and they're like, it didn't work. And I'm like, well, what'd you do? Well, you did it wrong. You didn't, nobody said just move away and quit everything and leave, That's not how you just.
Well, it's funny because it seems like you've tapped into it. That's why I use the analogy of the ringing inside of your ears, because all you got to do is close your eyes. Yeah. And listen, to walk away, I think we're all guilty to some degree of probably spending a little too much
Yeah.
time on this and that. I mean, look at us. I know
Yeah.
we got to be digital, but look, I try my damnedest for a good chunk of change during the day, whether it's, and I'm not one of these motherfuckers either that are like, gotta be at the, you know, like these guys that are like, drink the water in the morning. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
we're have a rhythm, but I try to make it a point for chunks of change out of the day to just break away. You know, and I can be, another thing too, the irony is that codependency in general can be frowned upon, right? Like they're like, people are like, yo,
Facts.
you're so codependent. You love to talk to random people. I'm like, well, look, I'm okay with that. I am guilty of being codependent. And I don't think it's always a negative thing either. But like you
No.
said, it's about making sure that you're okay when it's like, people joke around now, you want to see someone's true colors, fucking turn the Wi-Fi off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
going to do? What do you do now? Are you fucked? Can you not think? Can you? And it's funny because people are more concerned about, if you ask the average person, especially first world problem person, and you say, would you rather have Wi-Fi or no electricity? What do you think the fucking answer is?
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
no electricity. And I know Wi-Fi is
Yeah.
kind of contingent on electricity, but no joke. People sit in a dark room with a phone connected
Yeah.
versus sitting in a room with light with no connectivity. People need that. So kudos to you for keeping that part of your fucking, your ingredient list to this recipe, because brother, look, as the first time talking with you, and I mean this, I'm not a superior of yours. I'm a peer of yours, and I'm fucking proud of you. Like, that's not,
Thanks, man.
especially at that age. And I'm not saying that from a condescending point, like, you're young, but you're
Yeah,
young.
of course.
You know, like
Yeah,
a lot of
course.
guys your age, like you said, they're more busy about trying to walk into their job, say, fuck all y'all. I'm gonna do me, and then they go home and they got $300 left in their bank account, and now
I see it all the time.
and now they got that desperate approach. You know, it's not buy my clothes because of the lifestyle. It's like, yo, buy my shit, and you're like,
Please, please, I need it. Yeah,
I don't want it. And you'll, if you continue this way, great teachers used to say this, but you're gonna have to try to fail. Like, you're not just, like you just said, keep doing the right shit, and it will work.
Yeah.
Like today, I had to make some hard decisions today, man. I'll be really candid with you and the audience. I had some shit on my heart, and I felt like I needed to tell someone something, you know, and it wasn't even a big deal. But you know, when you just, if you're out there, in my opinion, if you're out there praying for something, hoping for something, and when no one's looking, you ain't doing the right shit. Look, I don't like all these cliche words, karma, this, that, and the other. It's not gonna fucking work. I've seen it time and time again. Now, if you don't care, like you just said, there's things that are going to come at you that are unforeseen. Nails and tires, shit like that. It's going to happen.
Right.
What you do about it, is what's going to make your future. And I made a video probably a week or so ago, dude, and I got a lot of love whiplash and I got a lot of negative whiplash because it was me in a quick segment saying, if you're not fucking, if your thinking's got you sinking, then fucking change it. And once again, I'm not being unsympathetic and empathetic with those that are suffering with something chronic or outside their change. Life is real, and it's not your fault if someone's hurt, sick, dying. If it's this shit, this real world sucks. Nails and tires are a real fucking thing. It's not your fault. But what we got to do between the dome, man, it's getting harder and harder to not blame somebody. You know, like, well, the fucking nails, if the guys didn't drop it in the thing, and now I'm going to spend 6 months trying to get a lawsuit against a fucking company, and next thing you know, I get fucking cancer because I'm fucking, you know, once again, I'm not saying.
Swear to God, I believe in that. I believe that. When people are focused on the wrong stuff, and you mix that with the food you eat, you mix that with the beverages, the stuff you put in your body, that's how this shit happens. It's not like just you wake up tomorrow for the you know, on a big scale.
I know what you mean.
And people are feeding their brains with all this negative stuff. And I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? You're just, you know, but a lot of it goes into, you have nothing else to live for, right?
Yep.
You have no other bigger purpose in your life. Because, like, my dream is such a big purpose, nothing matters. It don't matter. If it ain't accumulating to the dream, I don't really care. And maybe it's to a point where it might be honestly unhealthy. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, a nail in my tire, I'm like, all good. We keep moving.
That's it.
How do we fix it? The first thing that ever happens is when things happen to me, bro, I just look for a solution immediately. I want the fastest solution. All right, nail. All right, who do I call? Who do I do? What do I need to do? Like, I don't sit there and just cry about it. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how, but that's the connection I have with myself. You know what I mean? And I was going to talk to you about that. Like, dude, the relationship people have with themselves, they don't talk to themselves enough. They don't hang out and, like, look in the mirror legitly. I know it's cliche and it might be
No.
corny or it
Yep.
might be like, but like, what are we doing today? What are we doing? It's me and you, man. It's you versus you.
Yep.
It ain't you versus the nail. It's you
Mm.
versus. So it's just interesting, but we're not taught that. We're not really
No.
taught that. You know, nobody tells you that kind of stuff. Your parents kind of just tell you to blame people too. Sometimes
Yep.
your parents, your parents are a good example. They be blaming
100%.
everybody, and I'm just thinking, what the fuck is your problem?
Yep. Well,
Why are you freaking out?
our generation, and I know I got 10 years on you, but I've noticed that our families that we grew up with this. It's not their fault because this high fructose corn syrup shit, man, was in everything. And I use that as an analogy as much as I do literally because it fucking was everywhere. And
I
it
do,
was,
yeah,
we were bred to believe that the fucking food pyramid
100%.
and the this and the that. So, and our parents were glued to fucking news. It's all if you
Right.
didn't watch
That's all
the
they knew.
news, you didn't know
That's all you
anything. And
knew.
now, thank God, the disruptors of the scenes, guys like you, me, that are putting out content that are like, look, you don't
Yeah.
gotta fucking listen to this bullshit.
Yeah.
Some of the funny, some of my favorite memes or fucking comments on there, like, you know how to change the fucking world? Turn the fucking TV off.
Facts.
What's your problem
Real.
now? And it's so crazy because,
Yeah.
like you said, tribally speaking, if you really think about the 6 inches in front of your face, how often do you see murder? How often do you see? Now, I'm not saying it ain't out there, and I ain't saying racism isn't out there. I'm not saying murder and but in your
And you
6
should
inches,
you should be aware of it.
Aware of it.
but don't drown yourself in it.
correct. And unless you're dealing with it, if you're dealing with it, then deal with it. Like if you're living in a situation where in the 6 inches in front of your face, there's
Yeah,
people
yeah.
fucking kicking dogs, and yeah, man, help do something. I'm not saying
Yeah,
turn a blind
do
eye,
something about
but if
that,
you
yeah.
really think about it, you turn the news off or turn off the fucking social media. See, I think a guy like you and me, thank God, we're using it. It ain't using us, right? And that's
It's a
hard
tool.
too. It's a tool,
Right? It's a tool. I tell people that. I'm like, there's creators and then there's people who watch the creators.
Mhm.
It's a tool. I tap in, I do what I need to do, and I'm out. It's
Yep.
a tool, man. It's just a leveraging tool. I don't use it as a platform to drown my boredom.
Mm.
I have a real life outside of social media.
Right. Well,
You know?
that we all know this now, and no hate on those that are doing it. And if they find some kind of therapeutic or something relational with people getting, but like as well as I do, people that seem to post about their relationship or their this, most of the time don't have one. You know what I mean? It's so
Right.
superficial.
Right.
And once again, I ain't hating on those that are doing it. It's just something I've noticed, and being kind of almost in the boomer era of like, I didn't grow up having to need the internet. It was
Yep.
more of like it was an accessory. It wasn't a mandatory thing.
Right.
I'm so glad that it wasn't part of my genetics now. Like, and one of the
Right.
things I also see though, and I know you probably know this, you got people near around your age that got kids too now that are probably
all
grown
of them.
kids.
Yeah,
And
most all of them.
they don't let their kids have the phone or this, and like I'm all about using it as a means of discipline and shit. If they're not fucking, you don't. To me, you're not just going to get an iPhone 14 just cause. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah, facts.
as far as using it, you almost can't rehabilitate yourself either. It would be you'd
Yeah.
be stunad not to have digital something. But it's
Yeah.
to me, I kind of chuckle when I see people that may be struggling, don't like their job, don't like their situation, and I go, they live online. It takes 2 seconds to maybe potentially
Right.
stimulate an incremental revenue stream with the cup that you use reach out. It
Yeah.
can't hurt.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Can't
putting out
hurt.
fucking 15 photos a day and it's in this, you're not even realizing it, then
Yeah.
reach out to some of these people. For instance, just like with you, if
Mhm.
I started to become a habitual purchaser of your clothing, it ain't gonna hurt me to say, yo, dude, like, you throw me a coupon. It's all about relationships. And one of the things I
Yeah.
say in all of my presentations now, and I stole this from a very dear mentor of mine, is being relational, not transactional.
Ooh,
Like,
that's good.
like I say that in all my shit now and I don't pride myself, like I said, as a business guy. I'm a very personal person. And a lot of that's against the cliche business world. Like business
Yeah.
isn't personal. Fuck that. I think
Yeah.
it's very personal.
I do
Like
too,
even,
yeah.
your clothing, you're creating a lifestyle. Someone's
Yeah.
wearing it. And like, that's what I think Steve Jobs did for the first time was not
Oh,
only
yeah.
creating badass tech. He created this personal, he was one of the first people to ever get on stage and talk to you. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, this guy's legit. He's cool.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, yeah.
Yeah. And they broke that mold of like for years, like who ran GE, who runs Chevrolet. We don't fucking know these people.
Oh, yeah.
You just
We don't
buy
know.
it. But creating that relationship, is amazing. So, dude, I'm like, I'm so thrilled to have met you because I know no matter what you deal with, and I stole this other saying from another mentor of mine who's our local chief of police here, that you're only as good as your last 24.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems that you have this mindset of, look, like I said, I'm using the nail of the fucking tire analogy because it just happened, and I just got a new tire, and I was like, fuck, and it was on my bike too, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that ain't cheap, you know. But same thing.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do when I call? I'm the same way. As soon as I saw it, got it in this. I literally had the phone call today with the guy. He goes, I think you also need a front one. I'm like, fuck. So it pays to play. Right? You got to pay to play. And I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to bitch and try to find the guy that left the nail in the fucking road. So kudos to you for keeping that fucking mindset. And that's what's up. And I'm also, you're like a statistical anomaly that you don't have. And there's nothing wrong with having kids in the family and this. But I love that you're trying to get your shit straight and your homework done before you load more shit on. And,
facts, bro. Yeah.
And I've noticed this, and you've seen this, and it's a thing that's happening more and more. You see people out there talking about, is anywhere to live? And you're like, oh shit, I feel so bad. Like it's a real deal. Like where we get the rent, and then their next post tomorrow is pregnant, and I'm like,
yeah. And you're like, holy, yeah. I see it on my 9 to 5, man, all the time. And I don't tell people how to live, obviously, but I analyze and I study, and I think, wow, man, you really, you complain about your house or you complain about house payments, and then a week later, you're like, oh, yeah, we're having a third kid. And I'm like, dude, what the hell?
And look, I'm all about
study and plan.
Right. Productivity and creating babies and having families. I'm not against that. But I'm also looked at side-eyed a lot with being 38 and not having children amongst my own family. And sometimes people, it's like almost now at my age, if you don't, they're like, your dick don't work? And you're like, no, I'm
of course.
good.
Yeah,
I just don't. I ain't done doing.
It's a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't know, it may start happening near around this age, or if it hasn't already, maybe it's around your maybe peers or those that try to be intrusive with it. And they're like, man, that's real selfish. You ain't having kids. And these are just super.
Oh, for sure.
And it's funny because I say in my own brains, I go, wait a minute, it's the polar opposite.
It's the polar opposite.
I'm not having them because I'm not ready to give everything. I don't got what I think I need. If you think you got it, bro. And it's not even just finances, Holmes. I know you know what I'm talking about.
No, 100%.
The brains.
It's teaching them things.
Right. It's the time, and it's like I'm not. I know on the scale of adulting, I'm up there, right? But in my heart, I'm not done doing what I got to do to fulfill what I got to do. And I'm proud of you for being that anomaly. And once again, there's no better way of living. It's just as long as you're where you want to be, not have to be. And you see it, like you said, you got guys that can't make their next nut for their mortgage or their rent, and now they've got a new baby. And it's like, listen, man.
It blows my mind, man.
It's the rhythm. But once again, not just the kid scene, more than do your fucking homework. And I hated homework as a kid. And now the irony is that I can't go out this house or anywhere that I'm at unless my shit's done. Like, I can't, because if you do, there's going to be 100 things. The nail on the tire is going to hit, and you didn't do your homework, and now you got 2 shits to deal with.
Yeah. And
it's spiraling out of control. It seems like, are you in a good rhythm right now? Are you in a good season where you got homeworks getting done and shit like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it took a while to figure the system out, for sure. But then I got down to it. I'm like, dude, all right, we're tapped in. We're like, once I get the rhythm, dude, I'm every day. Like, it's locked in, And people hit me up, or some people are like, man, you don't have fun enough, or you don't do this. And I'm like, y'all don't understand, bro. I am having fun. Mm-hmm. Every day I wake up is like, I am not working. It's a part of my life. You know what I mean? Y'all think having fun is going to a theme park every weekend, or which is fun, and that's fine. Do whatever you want to do, but we just have different ways of, I guess.
I don't think you want to turn into the guy that has the 1 week off a year lifestyle, and I never wanted that either.
Fuck that.
I can't. I think one of the things that are the most broken in our systems and society and this first world problems is this, once again, high fructose corn syrup way of living, that we go 18 years pretty much of our life going to a system that tells us we get 3 months off every fucking year. Right. Yeah. And then you hit fucking, you walk off that fucking stage, and if whether you collegiate or not, or you get, but ultimately once you start to adult, you'll be fucking lucky to get 2 days off in a row. You'd be
Yeah.
fucking lucky to have a vacation that's more than 5 days. And even if you do go on vacation, not to still deal with work. To say, hey, but Billy Bob forgot to
Exactly.
leave the fucking thing. Can you? And you're like,
Yeah.
you're not on vacation. So keep, and I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't change a thing about you. Not that I would tell you that you do you, but my point of saying this is work now uncomfortably. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people see when I was your age too, I was doing the same thing from 17 to about 25 were some of the most not miserable, but very hard. Those are my hyperbolic time chambers, man. I was fucking putting in work. My friends, family, everyone was giving me shit because I was working 4 jobs and I did have a little bit of anxious idiot syndrome. You don't seem to have that, but we're like, I wasn't even sleeping and I'm like, you have to rest.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm
have to
not out
rest.
there fucking don't preach and don't sleep. Fucking sleep and rest and turn off. But grind now. And it is okay. Like if you position yourself now, you get to have that, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take today to just chill. And you can. And it ain't on someone else's dime and no one else
Yeah.
is suffering. And that's my new saying in life too. When people call me and they're like, yo, Chenzo, I wanna do what you do and this and that, and I go, look, I get to do me. That's my saying. I don't do me. You get a lot of these parents out there, people in general, and they're like, I'm kid free or I'm that. Like, listen, man, I get to do me. You know, you get a lot of
Yeah.
people say, I'm doing me and they're driving their fucking mom's car. Well, listen, man,
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
that's cool and all, but don't be fucking preaching out there that the other guy that's not doing him is a piece of shit. If you get to do you and you're free financially and you're free when you got time, then great. But don't fucking go out there trying to preach I'm gonna do me YOLO shit and you're out there fucking living in your mom's basement. Well, there's no shame if you are.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
but don't be out there preaching I'm gonna do me. Get your homework done. And if that's what you
Facts.
want, you know, but you seem to be a breath of fresh air, man, in a really fucked up society at your
Facts.
you know, especially in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. I'm really proud of you because it's harder, in my opinion. I mean this, and all the old timers said this to me, but it is harder for you guys than it's ever been, in my opinion. Shit's fucked up.
I think so too.
And I'm not being negative Nancy, and I have hope in humanity, and there's a lot of great positivity, and this show's a byproduct of that. But look, man, what you guys have to deal with in all fronts, the dating scene, the work
Yes.
scene, the fucking every
It's
day,
incredibly hard.
it's so tough, man. And I tell my immediate friends that I grew up with, I'm telling you, and we say it, I'm like, I couldn't fucking do it. And
Yeah.
you know, like cameras on you everywhere you go now. You can't even fucking step out of the line. You're gonna get. So kudos to you for keeping that. It seems that you got that clarity in a very fucking toxic world, and it seems
Yeah.
that you're using the matrix. It's not using you. You know.
Facts. 100%. Yeah.
What's
Yeah. I agree.
what's on the horizon with like some things that are some hopefuls? Are you staying geographically where you are indefinitely right now? Or you got some? Yeah, you good right now where you at?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the right time to dip because
Okay.
obviously Jacksonville's not forever. You know, I kind of tapped out of this. I tapped out. I did everything here, man. I did all the magazines, all the clothing stores, all the Jaguars, number ones, all these things. You know what I mean? And I just feel stuck. You know, so I
Okay.
just went to New
Okay.
York and did a pop up and a storefront. So I rented out a store, built it out for a whole week long storefront in New York, and seeing the results of that, I was like, all right, yeah, there's a whole world out there.
Yeah.
You know, with potential and people, and I mean the amount of people that came by and talked and
Mhm.
bought and stuff. And I've never even been there. You know, I've been there 2 times before that, and that for like a day or two. You know,
Where'd you
So I
go?
was like,
Manhattan?
yeah, it was in Soho area.
That a boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it was right by the Supreme store actually. So it was like
Okay.
a block away, and just seeing the results and being in the culture and being there, I was like, man, I need to get the brand more in that
Okay.
area around the people who care. Because the problem is here, I'm just putting out product to people who don't care. You know, it's
I
not like they
know.
have to care. It's just
I know
not
what you mean.
it's not the scene. So I was
The-
like, all right,
the-
well, let me pivot.
Good. And then
Gotta
so the
pivot.
the game plan would be, which is going to happen because you're putting it out there. So the goal would probably be get a little bit more north on the East
Yep.
Coast, get more of
Yep.
a little bit more of a fashion centric town that understands and appreciates the not only
Yeah.
the utility but and the skate scene's huge up there. Obviously, that's a
Yeah,
constant.
it's huge.
So
And then also
and
money too. People who are will spend a little bit more on
of
their clothes.
course,
You know, a
yes,
lot of people here, well, they don't really care about fashion, so they'll just wear like a $20 shirt, which again, that's cool. Do your thing.
right.
So I'm
Yep.
just trying to. It's up to me to pivot into my market. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what's up. So if that
yeah.
in the near distant future, I see you doing that, and then where are you if you could, is the goal to have storefronts like your store,
Yeah.
or do you? Okay, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
That's the goal. That's like the whole end goal is to at least have, a couple in different
That's a,
cities,
and like the whole scene where like they're whether they're in a mall or it's like a
Yeah.
standalone, like you just want to have that your own flavor, your own storefront. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. Cause I truly believe like if I had a storefront for a year somewhere, I could get enough buzz and enough hype to have people come by. It's just building that,
Right.
marketing it and stuff like that. So, and in the right place. I mean, here, I don't, I was going to do a store here, but I just was like, man, I don't think it would do good. I really don't. I think for the first month, yeah, people would probably come
Right.
because they're like, oh my God, Jesse's store.
Right.
But then after that, it's like, there's no more new people. So, yeah.
Super. Hold on one second. I didn't realize that's one of the hiccups here about this. Uh,
About the app.
right now.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, boys and girls. This is new to me, so I guess I got to remember to turn my. I guess I could turn. I don't know if I could go airplane mode because I won't have Wi-Fi. Well, anyways. So look, man. Anything I can do. By the way, that's a byproduct of the show. Anything I can do to help. I don't have the biggest network, but my immediate audience seems to be near around here, and I've been doing this now for a handful of years. And you're actually my first show in a while. I took a hiatus. For the
Oh,
summer.
nice. What?
And anything I can do to help you grow, not only digitally, but as a friend, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
think you could probably, I hope you can taste what I know for a fact happens here physically, but I don't know if you got the same feel, but I feel very fucking, you're great, man.
Yeah, bro. Love the energy.
You excite me. I'm glad to see someone so hungry and not just chasing some fucking money or some MLM bullshit and some fucking get rich quick. I'm proud of you, and I've noticed this too, and it's not a crowd favorite to say, but life ain't gonna get easier.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. You're gonna get stronger. You're gonna get more wiser. Everything from ordering shit and knowing what to do and what phone calls to take. And like one of the things I'm learning in the adulting world at this era, kissing the 40, is I could say, you start to become more and more aware of the people that just, once again, aren't where they want to be, they're where they have to be. And look, greed and envy are a real thing. And I can tell you, my hopes for you is I have no doubt you're going to succeed. That's not even a problem. I think it's my whole goal for you would be continue to find that rest and enjoyment. And I've noticed this too. One of the things I've been saying in my private life, try to, if you're around people for a duration part of the day, whether they're family, friends, or this, and not to sound like a fucking schmuck, but if you find yourself leaving that experience and you haven't laughed a lot or have smiled a lot, think about it.
Think about that.
And once again, I ain't trying to sound like fucking Gandhi over here, like hang out with people you smile with. Like, come on, man. Like, I get it, but you leave an experience, you leave a dinner, you leave a this, and it's especially if it becomes something super consistent in your life. And next thing you know, once again, no disrespect to family and friends, but you find yourself with these people and you haven't cracked a smile. Evaluate those situations because life really isn't that serious, man. And it sounds like you got a great fucking rhythm and you've got smiles in your life and you got time for yourself. And proud of you, man. That's fucking what's up.
Yeah, thank you. Me and you, we got to hang out more, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
Get some
I don't get the jacks as much as I used to because another thing with the adulting things, you start getting, and I live in Flagler Beach, so I'm super spoiled with my little beach town. But I'll tell you what, if you ever, if you're moving, if there's I don't know if this, we got this skate park and shit out here. If there's anything I can do,
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah,
it's sick.
If there's anything I can do with putting you in touch with the right people out here, they're all independently owned businesses. They got these little boutiques and shops. There's a skate shop here, surf shop. You know, and if it ain't, it can't hurt to. I can almost guarantee I could at least introduce you. I don't know what the relationship would look like. And that's just loving on you. I don't need anything more than just a fucking high five.
Bro.
So why not in the near distant future put it on your agenda to come on down here for an afternoon? I'll take you out, show you around Flagler, introduce you some right folk, and can't hurt to have some of that shit in a shop, you know?
Oh, easy, yeah. I've never actually been to the town or anything like that. So
you haven't been to Flagler?
No, I've been to like the skate park, but not the city or anything like that.
Oh, bro, you gotta definitely plan on like a good ass afternoon. Bring a fucking bathing suit. I'll show you around. There's some great people out here, man. That's where, so Katie and I grew up near, we grew up in the Palm Coast area, but we
Oh,
actually got a reunion next month. We're all excited about it.
oh
It's
shit,
in Flagler Beach. 20
that's
fucking
fun.
years.
That's
So,
crazy.
but yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed this. This was, I
Yeah,
think it went
appreciate it, man.
well. What I'm gonna do here is, let me go ahead and end the thing. Oh, actually, do the so you got the website is uplandclothing.co.
Yep. .co.
That's what's up, and I'm gonna put all the links in the actual post. And the
Cool.
handle is pretty much Upland Clothing Co. Man. So
Yep.
for
That's it.
those that want to support this guy, and reach out to him. I mean, I think you'd be more than willing to open opportunities and dialogue
Oh
and
yeah.
future. It's awesome,
Oh
man.
yeah.
So let me. I appreciate you. I'm gonna end, but don't hang up. All right.
For sure.